Welcome to Uncle's Channel. Thanks for watching today, and let's go back in time to the year 2020 when everyone was stuck in their homes, working remotely, and pretty much isolated from society. Well, it was during this time period that me and my buddies, since we couldn't get together, decided to try to find some online games that we could play cooperatively. And we tried some different ones. We tried like Minecraft Dungeons, and it was okay. Victor Vran, that was okay, but there was one game we came across. It was only like $2 on the eShop, and holy cow, I had no idea it was going to be one of the most addictive fun games on the Nintendo Switch, and this is going to be Lost Castle. I made an entire review of it on the channel here, but I put probably like 30-40 hours into this game. Definitely get my money's worth for like $2 here. But it was essentially like a roguelike game, and you're going through it, continuing to get new weapons, upgrade your health, all kinds of stuff. You know, basically like any other roguelite. But there's something about this particular game, like the way the combat worked, the dodging worked, the special powers, just the overall charm of the game, that was just a ton of fun. It had a simplicity about it, but at the same time, it was just complex enough and just difficult enough to really pull you in. And we beat it several times, but at the same time, we still went back and played the game just because there was more to explore, more items to get, and it was just a great game in every single way. But now let's move forward to present day, and about a week ago, I opened up my email and I actually got a playtest preview key for Lost Castle Part 2. And I was ecstatic about this because I didn't even know a sequel was coming out. And they basically did everything that a fan could want of the first game. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They didn't try to, make a totally different game out of it. They basically just took everything that I enjoyed in the first game, kept it, and they sort of upped the ante to give you a little bit more, I guess, pizzazz to make the game even more fun than the first one was. And I cannot wait to go through the entire full game. This was just simply a playtest. 3 levels were unlocked. I went through all 3 levels, and according to the map, it looks like way bigger than that. There were 7 bosses inside the playtest. I went through several of them. I didn't go through all 7 of them, and just a ton or a plethora of items here that could upgrade your character and do different power-ups and just like all kinds of amulets. And the game is just wonderful. But let's go ahead and jump into what all Lost Castle 2 does a little bit different than the first one. Now, when you start the game up, you get a full customization of your character. And this was actually something that was, I'm not going to say it was bothersome in the first game, but you always had like a randomized character. You could swap it back and forth, choose like which random character you wanted. And I always ends up going with like a gray-haired, character anyway. I always go for like the old man Ogles. But now I can actually customize my character and actually have a profile for my old man Ogles, and it's just the little things that make the game a little bit better than the first game when it comes to customization options. And if you don't like your character, you can always go to the local barber inside the little hub world, and he can do a little stylization. You can change anything you want about your character, and that's also really nice. So it's not like you're stuck in a single mold of a character that you create. But let's go ahead and jump into the actual hub world. So you start the game up, you now have like a full hub world, has like blacksmith and alchemist, a few other positions in here. I wrote them all down here. An ethereal who's going to adjust like the difficulty, a stylish goblin who I mentioned earlier is going to be able to change your outfits, a record keeper, and as you travel throughout the story, more people actually get unlocked and you can do more things with your character as far as like skill trees and such as that. And so basically all the normal roguelike stuff that was in the first game, but just taken to another level with more options, more items to collect in order to expand exactly how you want to develop your character individually. Now the storyline for the game is you're basically, instead of just searching for a giant treasure inside the castle, now you're searching for a creature called the ethereals, and they're basically some reason captured, hidden inside the castle, and as you unlock them, they're going to, or you find them throughout the game, they can give you like special power-ups such as that, and there's even one like held inside the camp here. He's the one that can like change the difficulty of the game. But the overarching story here does deal with the ethereals, and I assume like when you get to the final boss, it'll have something to do with like to release or to capture or something to do with that. I don't know. I mean, I can't predict the storyline they're going to go on, but you don't play a game like this for the story anyway. You play it for the gameplay, and the gameplay is very solid. Now, when you play it, you do have your normal attack button. You have, like 2 special attack buttons. You also have like a hunter garb or a hunter gear that you can use, and like, have like bombs or like a special jump button. And so that's another little upgrade that you have, and you can individualize it for your particular character. And you can also change it throughout the, the environment, and if you come across the right people. But there's just so many options as far as like how you want to play the game. And when it comes to weapons, I always enjoy the staffs the most, and so it's the first chance I got to swap my bow and arrow out for a staff. I went directly toward that, and the staff is just still the greatest weapon inside the Lost Castle games. It almost feels like you're cheating a little bit because you can like stay way back and you get these powerful magic moves, and I don't know, I know you're trapped to a magic meter, but still a great weapon to have. And I went through several different staffs with my playthrough, and all of them have like individual powers as far as like calling down a giant flame pillar, or shooting out lightning, or having like a little circle around them to deal like secondary damage to all of them. they all had their own individual powers, and that's not just simply the staffs. If you went another direction, like the bow and arrows, or the swords, or like the dueling weapons, all of those are going to have their own special powers, and they really worked hard to give you all different types of new items. And that also goes for like different robes and whatnot. Like at one point I had like a goblin robe on, at one point I had like a cat robe on, and so like your armor can be upgraded in different ways at the same time with special powers as well. And so I'm not going to go through like what every one of them did individually, but it's just like any roguelike. You start off, you find the best equipment, you equip it, find better equipment, you equip it, and you're going to try to go as far as you can through these levels. Now the first level that you're going to go through, at least in the playtest, is going to be a forest level. And you're basically going through fighting all these goblins off in this haunted forest. And when you get to the end, you just fight off the forest guardian. And all of the enemies throughout the forest, they basically look pretty much like they did in the first game, but it's simply a little bit better animated, a little bit better environment, a little bit more better shading. It's like I said earlier, they took everything good about the first game, they kept the style, and they just upgraded a little bit to make it a little bit more of a polished product. And when you get to the Forest Guardian, like what a great final boss here. Like it actually has 2 individual stages, and to my memory, like the first game didn't have like multi-stage bosses. It only had like a 1-stage boss, so it is a upgrade here, and just a really cool multi-stage. Like he has like little poison growths off to the side. A really cool boss. And then when you go into the second level here, you're going to have more like a zombie village. Actually reminded me a little bit of like a Bloodborne to a degree, which is a great thing to remind me of because it's like one of my all-time favorite games. But you have these mages around, you have these like zombie beasts that are coming out and try to attack you. And the overall aesthetic is wonderful in the second level. And then when you get to the final boss, like the final boss of the second level, and it will vary depending on like your playthrough. The bosses always mix up, just like they did in the first game. But the one that I got more often was basically, I think it's like named like Mad Bobby and the Alchemist. And it was like those battles where you're fighting 2 individual bosses that sort of feed off of each other. The Alchemist had the ability to like throw little poisons or potions out at you, and Mad Bobby was just simply a Frankenstein-like creation that was, all about the brute force. And whichever one you kill first is going to take over the power and become an even more powerful beast. And so I ended up taking the Alchemist out first in this playthrough. Mad Bobby got even more mad and was rampaging through the environment. But even if you've like not upgraded a lot of equipment, or you've not gone through the game multiple times to upgrade all your stats, one thing I always liked about Lost Castle is like it did play on like skill a little bit. It's like your dodge moves and your attack moves. If you can predict the enemy's patterns here, you can actually go pretty far in the game, even on like your first or second go through, just simply because you're actually, developed a skill set designed for this game. And so like Mad Bobby here, you dodge through most of his attacks, really work on your dodge moves, and you can take him out pretty darn fast. And then the third level in the playtest can be Crystal Mountain, and all the enemies are going to be something like you'd see like almost like in a Mega Man game, or like a newer Mega Man game like Mega Man 11 or something like that, the art style anyway. Basically sort of focused on like, crystal type enemies, but at the same time like a rock formation, a little bit of magic behind them. And there's one character is like a Sonic the Hedgehog character, really obnoxious. They could roll into you and continue to knock your health away. And there was a creature just like that in the first game that was also really darn annoying, but it wasn't this creature. And so they've pretty much gone through, redesigned all the monsters, upgraded them a little bit, but still have the exact same feel as the first game. But even though this is a playtest and the game ends at the third level, there is so much in just simply the playtest here. So like when you go back to the hub world, now the sister of the blacksmith is there, and she can now upgrade, or not upgrade your character, but give you the option. So like you say, I don't want to see any daggers or axes. You can actually choose which weapons are going to appear more throughout your playthrough. Because every time you finish a level up, you do get like a little bonus chest to upgrade your armor, your weapons, or get a new weapon and things like that. And so like new characters being introduced into the village here to give you more options. And I would imagine in the actual game, as you journey through it, you're going to rescue more people, more ethereals, and all of those are going to play back into your village here and allow for even more upgrade opportunities. And so I have to say, like this is just everything that I wanted in Lost Castle Part 2. Even though I didn't know the game existed, now that I know it does, they've pretty much done exactly what I would have wanted. They've given us a bigger map, they've given us more weapon upgrades, they've given us different enemies, they've given us a new upgrade system, they've given us character customization. They've, like I said, like it's exactly what you would want in Lost Castle Part 2. And if you've not had an opportunity to play Lost Castle Part 1, I recommend going out there, getting it on Steam, getting it on the eShop. It generally goes on sale very often, and I'm sure you can get a great price on it. If it's not on sale at this exact moment, just give it like a week and try again. And at some point you'll get it for like a couple bucks, and I promise you'll get hours and hours of enjoyment out of your $2 investment. I don't know a price yet for Lost Castle Part 2. I don't know when the release date's going to be. None of that's been given to me as far as the emails. I'm checking through it right here. Yeah, nothing's been given to me as far as like email for release date. But I would imagine at some point in 2024, because the game feels very, very much done, very polished, and I cannot wait to give the actual game a full playthrough. But I think on the actual Steam page, if you send out a request, you can also get a preview key, and so you can do a playtest yourself and see if you like the upgrades, if you like the differences, or do you want to go back to the original Lost Castle and just simply play through that more in your time. But overall, can't wait to play the new game. Very excited. Give the playtest a go through. I think you'll have a great time with it. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above, and go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.